You're listening to Heart Podcast with Lina Kevlani. Artezaar.com, online art gallery.
Hey, welcome to the Heart Podcast. I'm Lina Kevlani from Artezaar.com, online art gallery. Today, I am honored and very, very privileged to have a very special guest, Mr. Khalil Abdulwahid. And he is a prominent Emirati artist. And most importantly, I think he is genuinely one of the people in our art circle here in the UAE that continuously inspires all of us to do more. Thank you, Mr. Khalil. It's so good to have you here.
Well, thank you. And thank you for a lovely introduction also.
Thank you. We would love to know a little bit about yourself growing up here in the UAE. How was it?
Oh, okay. It's nice to go back and think how we started and the childhood and
Yes, the memory lane.
Okay, very interesting. The life that we're living now, telling to the audience and to the listener, is it's completely different. The time we're talking going back to 30 or 40 years ago. The city was different. The movement was different. The experience was different.
The pace was different. I moved here in 87.
Wow, so you have a lot of story now to tell us.
Yeah.
You can tell the change the city and the country went through from that time till now.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about, but basically talking about how I grew up, I'll start to talk about because we are focused on the art, how I started from the childhood.
Please.
I remember going back to the first grade, not before first grade. Wow. I remember when I was a kid. As a kid, if you get a pen, pencil, color, marker, anything in your hand, you just try to do something with it anywhere. And one of the things the kids usually they do it on the wall.
Oh yeah.
I think all of us do that.
All of us have done it.
And I used to do that. Well, my dad, they used to paint the wall after that, But sometime anywhere I can find a space, I used to do it. The reason it made me I remember that because one of the walls, when I draw on it, my pens, they left it because it was not in the place that people, they can see it. So that reason why I remember, I don't know how often I did, how much I did, I can't remember, but I remember this one of the wall, my line was over there. What I do remember after doing these all lines, look at it again, what I see, if I see a bird, if I see a face, if I see something look like, I start to put just a dot. To continue, that's the line of this eyes or something from my imagination. I don't know what I'm doing, but I was doing something to see what's coming up.
Right.
So that's from the childhood. I do remember I used to do that. Then starting from school time, and before school time, sometimes we have this a booklet.
Yes.
It has drawing.
Yes, the booklets with drawings.
Yeah. Watching cartoon, it does affect and influence the people. So seeing that, the drawings, I start to just color it. I don't know how good or bad I was on it, but I remember in the cartoon, you see the nose and the ears are different colors.
Right.
So I was doing that in the end, in a nose and ear, that's different colors. So this from the memory. Thank you for asking that question.
Oh, you're welcome. It's nice.
Go back.
It reminds me of my childhood a bit.
I think all of us, we did that. Who like to do drawing and painting. I think all of us went through a similar experience. Then elementary school, telling about the school. In the UAE, the way is divided, we have elementary, secondary, and high school.
Right.
6 years elementary, 3 years secondary, and then the 3 years is high school. That's I'm talking about my time. I don't know, is the system similar or is different?
So mine was the kindergarten area, and then from grade 1 to 6, and then from 6 to 12 or 13, depending on which school you went to.
Okay.
That's how I grew up here.
Okay, because I remember, I mentioned that because I remember in Kuwait was a different system. They had, I think, 4-4-4 like that somewhere.
Ah.
So now, in the elementary school, especially that period in the class of drawing, what I realized, I start to notice the teacher, compared to the student, he used to give me a bigger paper. So among our old colleague, I was getting a special paper. A special paper is bigger.
Yeah.
So I start to think, I say, why I'm getting a bigger paper. So it seemed what I'm doing, he like it. And usually you assume that whatever you're doing, everybody can do it because you're doing it.
Yeah.
So you think it's something.
It's like
normal.
math. Everybody does it.
Yeah, and you think it's really simple. Then realize with the time you start to realize each person, they have their own strength. Those people, they do something, other people, they cannot do it. Or ability they have in certain thing, the other people, they might not have it. Start that thing to grow up in elementary. Then when we went to fourth and fifth grade, I feel I was lucky because my teacher, he was an artist. So he started to take care of us. So participating in the competition among the school. So I was among them. My classmate, when they need any help in drawing, they used to come to me. So you start to realize, wow, okay, you're doing something, your colleague, your friend, they like it, to help them.
Right.
Then you start to notice, okay, there's something different. But it's still, that time I thought what I'm doing is normal. Till I went to secondary school. That's why I feel it was, the period has impact of my career in art.
Ah, how come?
I remember, secondary school, what I'm talking about, grade 7, 8, and 9. In grade 8 and 9, I have a teacher from Iraq. He was, and he is, an artist. He's still in the UAE. We are a good friend. We're still in touch. He was a real artist. I mean, he was teaching us, but at the same time, he was a teacher who does his painting, participates in exhibition. So he was in the field of art, which I noticed, not all teachers are like that. They teach, but they might not be the real artists. Maybe their major was in education and art, so that the reason they teach. So having him, and by the way, his name is Ihsan Al-Khatib. Yeah, and I do tell him that, I do tell my friend the story, because of you, what my journey is continuing. And I remember during that grade 8 and 9 grade, he used to take care of the student who was good. I think he was good. That make the student to be good, because without him we could not reaching where we are reached, or to be excited and in the field of art. What he did, that's what I do remember. I mean, in class time, ask her to do drawing, certain topic we have, we do it, he teach us, we paint and draw. Then he start to pick who is really good, or what they're doing interesting. And I remember he select from the school 10 students. I was one of them, so I was lucky. I feel like I was lucky. So from whole school, he picked 10. And this 10, I start to focus on him. And he tell him, at the break time, come to me. I start to teach you more. And we do try to practice. And the reason was doing that because there was a big competition among the whole UAE school.
Wow.
And so he started to focus on it. We had a big number. He started to filter until he reached to 10. Then, I don't know for how long we start to practice. The competition time when he came, I remember we went to different school. Different school, you go over there. So the competition is not you paint something and then you participate. You go to that place. You have 2-3 hours, something like that, or 4 hours. I can't remember.
Right, I remember that.
And they give you the paper and they give you the topic.
Exactly.
And you paint.
Yes.
And nobody come close to you. You have to just to finish. So they know that the student, they did it.
Yes.
So we did that. It was me, my friend, I remember. And that time I cannot remember, but my teacher was telling me, Ihsan Khatib, he said, guys, your place was the first from among the schools, all the schools.
Wow.
So that was great to hear that.
Which school did you go to?
Secondary school, I was in Imam Shafi'i. Yeah, the school still exists, but they changed the name. It's really close to Safa Park.
Okay.
Now with the new creek, or
right.
the canal,
right.
is now being the other side of the Safa Park. So the school exists, but the name, they changed it to, I can't remember, to be honest, what the new name for the school.
Yeah, but when you say that, I went to Cambridge High School, which is now called Cambridge International School.
Okay.
In Garhoud. And I remember these competitions because I have participated in it. And I was not good at painting, but I was very good at pen work, like pencils.
Yeah.
And they used to tell me, no, you have to paint. I said, but I like pencils. And somehow I don't know how I got chosen to represent Cambridge. And I remember this big hall, the big desk, and you just have your stuff, and they give you a topic. I remember that. It kind of brought up my memories.
It's really lovely when you think about that time. Yeah, Like, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was very simple, actually.
It was very simple,
and,
yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is how much a teacher, puts into you shows today.
Yes.
Like,
True.
I don't know if people realize this, or if they look back in their life, there's this one teacher they must have in their life, whether it's a math, English, or some teacher who's put something into them that shows up today.
Yes, you're 100% right. The teacher always has an impact in the student, or the generation that's coming up, is how he can succeed.
Yeah,
to do
true.
that thing, yeah. And I feel like the number of this type of teachers, they are not the big number majority if we compare to them.
No, I had one. Sorry to cut you there, but I had one, and I would love to mention her. Her name was Mrs. Rao. Her name is Mrs. Rao. She's a principal today at one of the schools. She was our English teacher. And we used to have these debate competitions. So they would give you a topic and you had 3 minutes to go up and say 2 or 4, but you didn't have a paper in your hand. So you had to speak on a mic in front of all the school.
Nice.
And I was very shy. But she said, I'm going to put you in it. I went up and I forgot. And I walked off. And that was the end of it for me. I was done. And she said, no, you are going to go again. I said, I froze. You're not putting me. She goes, no, you are. So she would sit after school and teach me elocution. Teach me how to look, not to get scared of people. These little tips and tricks. Don't look into people's eyes. Look on the side.
Exactly.
Those little things.
Yeah.
And I did it the next time. I was shivering. I still remember I was shivering. And I came second. Until today, people always ask me, they're like, how do you present? And I said, I don't present. This was Mrs. Rao's effort in me, because had she left me, I would have never presented in my life. I wouldn't probably do this podcast.
Right.
I mean, all this comes from her.
It's like breaking. She knows how to break the fears that person has. Encourage, because that's a good example you're giving us. Believing in a person, you can make a person to be something by just believing on them.
Right,
and make you to believe in yourself. Then
yes, because if she had said, "Oh, okay, she froze," that's the end of it, I would have never stood up or presented ever in my life. And I think anything I do on stage is because of her.
That's great. That's a real teacher.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. And we love to have more teachers like them.
Right.
With the teacher that I mentioned about him, Hassan Khatib, you teacher. Imagine if we have more of these type of teachers, the community, how it's going to be.
Yes, definitely. You have seen Dubai from the good old days.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have any memories that when you drive now, do you see something and it triggers something?
Definitely, but I like to go back to Ustad Hassan Khatib,
yes,
because the story didn't finish with him.
Oh, yeah. Please do.
Yeah. Hassan Khatib, I remember when the class we were there, because his experience of teaching the student and seeing them who was retarded, where they go, what's happening to them, he told us, I remember that was our last year in the secondary school, 9th grade. Then we go to the other school. He said, guys, I know you, you're drawing. You have a class, because you're a class of art, you're drawing and painting. If you leave the school, and in the high school, you don't have any classes in art, so most possibility you might stop and do nothing. So he was worried about us, because you've seen who was graduating from a secondary school, then after that who was retarded, where they go? They have no places. That's the big shift it was for me, that he introduced us to Mr. Hassan Sharif, the late Hassan Sharif, very important artist in UAE, by the way. I just try to give you a brief who doesn't know Hassan Sharif.
Yes.
Hassan Sharif is considered one of the pillar in art in the UAE, very important artist. Till today, they showcasing his work in different museum in Europe, in US, in UAE. A few years ago, they had a big exhibition about Hassan Sharif. He's really conceptual artist. It's really amazing what he does. People, if they look at the artwork, they might not understand, but it's really nice if they start to study and to read about him, to know what he's talking about, make it appreciate his artwork. So that's a brief about Hassan. talking about the teacher, Hassan was also a great teacher. So sorry, I'm jumping over here.
Yeah, please do.
Hassan Khatib, what he did, that the beautiful, like, when the teacher take care of their student, or I said the kids, if he was treating us as like his kids. He said, "There's a letter, and this is the location of Hassan Sharif's studio. So please go and visit him." And he did tell him that, tell Hassan, there's a student will come to you. Please take care of them. So please go and visit them. Over there, Hassan will start to take care of you. Will start to teach you, and you start also will help you to not stop your practicing painting and art. So that's exactly what's happening. We went to him. He welcomed us. He has a student. He had actually a studio, yeah. It's called Mersam al-Hur. And he established it, Hassan Sharif, in 1987. And first time when I met Hassan Sharif, it was 1989. And basically I started with him, practicing. It was in early January 1990. That was my first start with Hassan Sharif. And I start, through that studio or Mersam al-Hur, I start to participate in the exhibition, the real exhibition that was happening in the UAE. Then slowly start to participate in the exhibition happening in the region, GCC, and slowly to to internationally. So that was a real start for me with the field of art.
And he really just took you guys on.
Hassan, yes, it's amazing how he started with us. He did not try to create a copy of him. He tried to make us to be aware, have a talent and ability and knowledge to paint, to draw, to know how to study the object in front of you, how to move this object from the 3D to 2D, but giving effect of the depth and 3D, and then starting with the color, with the tone. So I have ability. From myself, that period when I used to do a lot of painting,
yeah,
my painting was so colorful. People, they assume it's I'm really strong in the color, which, yes, in that period I was really strong. But going back in secondary school, to be honest, I was afraid of using colors. I have just a brown, dark brown, light brown, maybe yellow and other colors, green on the tree, but I was not using a lot of colors. Somehow I was scared of using other colors. But Hassan, the amazing about him, he did break that fairness, that fear that we have with the color, and to be able to use the color. We don't see it, actually doesn't exist in real, but you can put in the canvas and make the audience to see a lovely painting, drawing without feeling it's color, using colors, strange color. So it's really interesting. If I wish I had the image of the painting, that make it much easier to understand what I'm talking about.
Oh no, not a problem. If you ever find it, send it to us. We'll add it to the podcast link.
Okay, perfect.
We'll add it to, and we'll also, guys, we'll also, what we'll do is we'll send you some links for Hassan's work as well, Mr. Hassan's work.
Yeah.
So you could actually see what he was, who he was, get to know him better. So I'll add all the links into the podcast.
Mentioning that, again, when you have a great teacher, the beauty about Hassan Sharif, he made a new generation to come to the field of art. And one of his students is Muhammad Kadhim. It would be nice also for people to know about Muhammad Kadhim.
Definitely. I'll add the links for him as well, so that you can all see the growth and the exposure and the impact this teacher's had on everyone.
Yeah, he was great teacher.
Oh, amazing. So when did you know you wanted to be an artist?
It's really interesting that to think when really.
When did you really?
I don't know, to be honest. I know I love drawing and painting. I thought, that's started to grow up on me. I think the surrounding area, what I mean by that, the family, the stuff happened to you, that will push you to go certain field in art or not.
Your family was okay with you going into art, and
the beauty of my family, supporting me of what I'm planning to do and what I like to do. As far as educating yourself and doing something you like, they had no problem with that. So I had the support from the family, and
that's
I feel
fantastic.
And saying about the family, when I was during the school time, secondary and elementary and secondary school, I remember my brother, my oldest brother, when he used to travel, comes back and he used to bring me a gift, a painting, or actually paint and brushes and this stuff. So that was kind of good encouraged. And I felt, wow, yeah, he telling me you do good, you're doing a good thing in drawing, you are good in drawing and painting. So this kind of a support. So that was, I felt, wow, it's good to get this kind of gift. See, I'm just thinking now about it. The impact of it. I never thought. I said, it's nice, he's bringing me a gift, but why color, why brushes? But
my cousin brother used to do that in New York. He would go to the art stores and pick colors for me and pick brushes from New York and bring them to me. My brother-in-law, when he would travel across the world, if he found this different type of brushes, he would start picking them up. Hey, oh, look, I got you this.
Nice. That's really nice feeling.
Yeah.
You feel like a support. It's it's, I don't know, I can't say direct or indirect support, but it's support.
It is, but it puts a smile to your face, right? As an artist, you're like, oh, I got paintbrushes.
And telling you, and also showing you or telling you, I approve you're an artist.
Right.
Somehow, you're an artist, supporting that. It's a nice feeling.
Right.
It doesn't say the word, but you feel like you're saying, yes, you are doing something creative, something I like, something I love. And mentioning that, I remember my dad, because during my school, I studied abroad, I went to US.
Yes.
My major actually was in computer drafting and design. So it was not a pure painting and drawing. I did take classes, elective. So beautiful thing about my dad, he was telling me, he said, Khalil, yes, go. Your major, focus on school, focus on your study. Whenever you get a time and you have a free time, you can paint and draw. Paint and drawing is good, but the school is very important. First school, then painting and drawing. But it was very good. My dad saying that is saying acknowledging that he see that side on me and he like to encourage and support.
Right. I think parents have such a huge impact in our lives.
100%.
Like 100%. Even my dad, when he saw I was into it, he got people in India to buy me books. And because we didn't have YouTube growing up, right?
Yes,
we had books.
This is the only source of information.
Yeah, and you would read through it. You would read about the technique. They would have the pictures and the steps, and you would kind of follow it through and say, oh, how did he do this painting? So my dad would just get people to buy me books. And I still have them till today.
Nice. It's very important you mentioned that because it's a really important point for a new generation to realize the facility and the technology that they have it around themselves, that how much is make it easier for them to learn, to get the knowledge compared to our period of time when we start to grow up. The YouTube was not there. Information you want to get, as you said, the book. YouTube is make it easier. You see somebody painting in front of you, and that's a good way of gaining the knowledge and to learn about techniques. Our time we try to find who's really good in drawing.
Or you did it wrong and you did it again and you did it wrong and you did it again, and at one point you're like, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
That was for me in silk painting.
And for me, I feel I was lucky I had Hassan Sharif. So he was teaching me, okay, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, no, for me, I think I found my mentor very late, Mr. Jivan, as you know.
Yeah.
I found him, I wouldn't say late, I think he came at the right time.
Yeah, it's never late.
Yeah, never late. And he literally took me and he said, that's how you do it and you're fine. And I'm like, I am? He goes, yes.
Yeah, just doing it, and it's very important going to mention about that as people who's doing in painting and drawing, to find the right person.
Right. To elevate you.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm jumping to
no,
that's
please
a
go for
point
it.
To because I do have sometimes conversation with a student or my colleagues or my friends is who does want to be involved in art. In the beginning you do listen to everybody, it's okay. But I do tell them you need to discover who to listen and who not to listen. Still you find people that will talk, it's okay for them. If somebody's talking something you don't like it, I will not say ignore them. No, listen to them.
Right.
Because they might critique in you and it will be you learn something to improve yourself. That first point. Second point is okay. You will discover who telling you something to support you and who's telling you just to say something
The best growth comes from criticism.
Yeah.
Or people actually critiquing you correctly, if I want to put it that way.
Yes, that's the correct way, a better way. You need somebody to guide you.
To guide you.
That's wrong, why is wrong?
Yes, or you could have done this better, how?
Yes.
Did you think about this?
Yes.
What other ways could you have done this project better? And you start to open up avenues of your brain.
Exactly. And this is the point that you mentioned, is for people to focus on it. When they meet other people, when they start to talk, to see what they're giving the feedback. Is this something, a guidance helping you? Yes. Okay, that's good to listen to them. Then start to, with the time, you grow up, you start also to learn how to filter these people. Even the people who are guiding you, you need to filter them, because art has so many directions, so many schools, so many ways to do it.
Right.
And each person, whatever they do it, they think they are right, and the rest is nothing. As an artist, you need to discover what you like, and the best advice you can get, who is similar to you in the direction of the path you're taking in the art, because they will think similar of the way you're thinking. They will do similar to what you're doing, and that will make it easier for you, because other people, they might tell you something is right, but they have a different direction, so they pull you away from the path you're taking in the field of art.
Right. You go around in a merry-go-round then.
It's
Yeah, that happens. That happens a lot. What is your favorite medium to work with, and why?
I do ask myself that question. What I discover is all the medium can be a favorite for anybody. It's based on you, what you like or what you work on it. I start with oil color. I loved oil color. I still love oil color. I did also drawing in watercolor, which I used to tell myself is very difficult media. Later on, I discover it's not a difficult media. It's just if I'm used to it or not used to it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Then I start to work with acrylic. But still, the feeling of oil color is different compared to acrylic. But I said the acrylic is it's amazing, because dry fast, no smell. I can work anywhere. So it's, I can't tell you this is the best media or this is the favorite. It's what I'm doing, make me certain thing is a favorite time. When I was doing watercolor, I loved it, I enjoyed it. When I used to do ink, I just enjoy it. I like to work on it. So I think all the media is amazing. I love to work on all media, and I enjoy all the media we have it. And encourage people to discover all the media is available around them to create their artwork. Because in the end, it's the media that you have is something is help you to create your artwork. So it's not really important. The medium that you're using is important what you're creating. And you have more knowledge or information about this medium is help you to create
better.
Yeah, better way.
And is there any other person who inspired your work? I know you've mentioned 2 names to us and changed your life.
Yes, Hassan Sharif and Hassan Khatib definitely. That's being my teacher. My friend Muhammad Kadhim. Both of us, we used to go to Hassan Sharif and teach us. He started the field of art before me. He was one of a Hassan Sharif student. Mentioning his name because he used to come to studio. He used to paint. I used to watch him, and he was very good. And I did learn a lot just watching him. So he did had influence on me, in maybe indirect way. And I did learn a lot of his technique, this word over here. And I felt the period that I spent with Muhammad Kadhim in the studio same time, we're creating the artwork and painting. So the stuff he learned, for example, taking 5 years to be able to reach this level, I felt by watching him, it did help me to reduce from the 5 to 2 years and get the ability that he had and learn from him.
Being in Dubai, I'm going to go back to my previous question. Being in Dubai, you have seen art develop, the whole movement develop. Because when I was here and I there weren't that many galleries or anything, there was majlis, I remember that. And I would go to all the majlis openings and I would aspire to keep my work there. But unfortunately that didn't happen, but you've seen it grow.
It's really amazing the change that, to see this happen, not just in Dubai, in the whole UAE.
Yes.
Talking about the galleries, it's really interesting. I'm looking as an artist, as a group of artist community, how it was and how it did change. So I was a member, I became a member of Image Fine Society. By the way, mentioning that, it made me to go back to my teacher, Hassan Khatib.
Yes.
As a student, to push us and support us, he did a membership for us at Emirates Fine Art Society. Later on, after I graduated from US and came back and we started to be in touch again, he told us, the time he did that, the Emirates Fine Art Society told him, we don't have a membership for students. He said, we need to create something. This student, we were I remember, 3 that when they finished together, and
right.
he said that these people will have to take care of them. So I think it was 3 of us, and he did something really, really nice, beautiful. So when we went to high school, I remember in the morning, before you go to class, all stand up at the line and
the assembly.
Yes. So in that time, he did give a gift, or he passed a gift for us to the school. It depends what the school we are. So in this early morning, they just the teacher came to and call our name. I said, okay, this is student. He got this gift from this teacher because of that, and this a letter. It was a thank letter or something like that. It was something very amazing. We're getting a gift from our previous teacher, and appreciating what we did with him. Actually, he did everything for us. It pushed again. It makes you to feel wow. He really does care about us. He really cares about what we are doing. So we want to continue. It's just something I remember now during the talk. Okay, yeah, and going now back to the Medjez Gallery and the other galleries. So when I started to involve in the field of art, so basically for me it was the main place, Emirates Fine Art Society, and the studio, Masjid al-Haq with Hajj Sharif. So these 2 places I used to go and participate. The people that period, the majority that I met, that who in the field of art, it was people who had a passion for art. They're doing it because they love it. No, I didn't meet that time people that are doing it for money. So they
did it for the pure love.
Exactly. So it's really interesting. I mentioned that because all the discussion between us as an artist was about the creativities, about art, about the painting, about drawing, and about how you can be creative and what you're doing. So never about the commercial side. That what happened. We never thought about the galleries and never creating a link with a gallery. So it was something new for us to start to discover the gallery, and that's. I'm just remembering going back in 2004. In 2004, the Dubai government established something called Dubai Cultural Council. So also I was lucky to be part of it.
Nice.
And from that's me now. I'm not talking about other people. I don't know what was their experience, but for me, I start to recognize and know about the galleries that exist, because that time we start to do a survey, what galleries exist in Dubai, in the UAE. For me then to start to understand what the gallery does, what they do to you, what they're doing. I know they showcase their artwork, but to understand what they're doing, for me, did take time. How it's important the gallery.
How's it working, yeah.
And how it's work. And I start to notice the change that was happening in the Dubai. We had few galleries. So basically, that time, maybe we have one art exhibition each week or each 2 weeks. So, okay, we have time to time is happening. Then the growth that started happening in the UAE, that the commercial side, the development, the building, it had a good impact, positive impact on art movement, because more people coming to Dubai, more business starting, and there's people their business in art. So we start to have galleries also opening over here, and it started to increase. Talking about the galleries and how it did increase, I think that is itself as a topic, because you can talk Al Goz area, then you can talk about Sakal Avenue,
right.
And before that, a lot of people, they might not know about Courtyard. Courtyard started before Sakal Avenue.
I remember that, yes.
And they had a gallery in Courtyard in 90s.
Yes.
So our people, they don't know about that. And before talking about Sakal Avenue itself, we had so many galleries start to go to Goz industrial area. They were not in Sakal, they were in different places. Sakal family, they came, they dedicate their space for the artists and for the galleries and for creative spaces. So the galleries start to move over there, and which help the community to make a spot or a hub where all the galleries close to each other, and people, they can go
in and out and just visit. I remember.
Yeah. Then the hubs also increase. So we had this Sakal Avenue and Goz area. We had the IFC.
Right.
And the IFC that went through the changes. Now we have the Gate Avenue and the IFC. We have the D3.
Right.
With activity going on. And Al Fahid Historic Neighborhood, which we got the first point, Majlis Gallery.
Yes.
Still exists over there as the first gallery in Dubai.
It was beautiful. That was I think that was my place to go.
Yeah. By the way, they have upcoming exhibition coming up on the 10th of December. It's important exhibition because they're dedicating the exhibition for the Alison.
Yes.
Alison who established
it. Let's all make a movement and hopefully try to get there by the 10th of December.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic, guys. Let's try and support them as much as we can. And if you've never been to them, you have to go see where it all started with Alison's love and passion.
Yeah.
I still remember I'd walk in, I'd see her. She would be so passionate about things. I think she was very inspiring.
Yes.
Extremely inspiring.
Yeah, she did a lot. It was amazing. I mean, top of the exhibition she did over there, the art that she hosted over there, is very important. It's very important for the artist history in Dubai, the movement. She did take part of that, of establishing the first gallery and beautiful space, and in a really old house, which give also the audience not just to feel and to appreciate the art as a painting, but also to appreciate the
architecture of where it was.
Exactly.
Beautiful, very beautiful. So this is our Did You Know section. It's a fun section.
Okay.
Tell us 3 things we didn't know about you.
3 things. Okay. One thing is just coming up on my mind now at the moment. I do love volleyball.
Oh, wow.
And in college time in school, but actually and even in high school, I used to go to play volleyball. In college time, I did take courses in university and in volleyball, and we had a team as our colleague, classmate, participating within our college teams as a competition. So yeah, that's one thing I do love. I still love it, the volleyball and the sport, because most people over here, they love football.
And cricket.
And cricket. In US was baseball and basketball. So, but yeah, for me, it's the volleyball is one of the sport. I love it a lot.
Fantastic. Any other 2 other things?
I love the technology. I love with all the stuff is coming with the software. Maybe this past few years I'm not being into a lot because of the work, but anything with the software, anything. Let's say technical drawing. That was my study, and love that. To work with technical drawing, mechanical drawing. For me, it's just I thought it's amazing because it's not just drawing. You have to use your mind to think, and I love this kind of stuff. And mentioning about this technology because the period of time I started to be involved in video art. And I started to create a video art, participate in the exhibition. And about video art itself, to have a story how it started. It was beginning of 2002. We had a gentleman, his name is Peter Hermans, I believe. Yes. And he was trying to combine, or actually to make artists from Europe and UAE to work together through the art. And he had the belief, doesn't matter what the background and the language, anything, through the art, the artists, they can work together, communicate together. And that's what he did. There were 2 artists they select from UAE. It was me and Abdul Sadi. Abdul Sadi, very important artist also, by the way. He was a team of Hassan Sharif.
Right.
There were 5 actually. They were all together. Hassan Sharif, the teacher, Mohammed Kazim, Hassan Sharif, Mohammed Ahmed Ibrahim, and Abdul Sadi. So okay, me and Abdul Sadi, we went to Netherlands, and we stayed for a whole month over there with the artists we had from I believe from Belgium and from Netherlands. We lived together. The main thing, we can't do anything with the art, but the main thing focusing and the end result has to be a video. So he passed to each of us a camera. At that time, it was a camera with a tape, mini DV.
Yes.
Now people are digital, they have.
I know.
Maybe they don't think about the tape or anything like that, but it's important.
I still have my old cameras with the tape.
Now I'm working on how to to put it in the computer.
I've been doing the same. I can't find people to transfer the data out.
Not as like, yeah, I do that. I use my camera and link it with like, the computer with the software. That is, I told you, like, I like this stuff. So, yeah, talking about like, Netherlands. So we start to using camera, and I start because we used to work as a team, exchange knowledge, people who has experience with the editing to know what they're doing or how we can do it. So I was playing experimental stuff doing it. And I never thought I'd be like, jump into the video art itself. So that's helped me to understand and try to produce art in the field of video art. In the end of the project, Mr. Bert Hermans, he said, what do you think? Will you continue doing a video art, or like, you go back to painting? My answer was to him, I said, well, 80% I'll do my painting, 20% I might go to the video. But basically what happened when I come back, my 80 production, it was in the video.
It switched.
It switched. I'm trying to figure out why. Like, how it's happened. I don't know. It's the technology that made me excited, or like, what happened over here encouraged me. For example, when I came back in 2003, we had like, Sharjah Binali. Right. And they select one of my video to be showcased. That time I thought like, when I come, I said people, well, they will not like what I'm doing.
Right.
So I was surprised and shocked. I said, wow. So they think it's really interesting and they select my artwork. That kind of was encouragement also to continue with what I'm doing in the field of video art. So we jumped like, you just remember one of the past, like, one thing, people, might not know about it. So we did take 2 points, or talk about 2 points. The third one.
One thing we don't know about you. One more thing.
I don't know. I'm thinking about what
you think.
What could be. Yeah, I remember now.
Go for it.
I collect, we call it in Arabic, طوابع بريدية.
Okay.
I think it's called the stamps.
Oh, stamps, the ones that we used to put on the envelope stuff.
Yes, yeah. That's my hobbies also. I do collect that one. I have a collection from Amman, Sultanate Amman, and I have a collection also from UAE. When I say collection, I mean when from established from the beginning till now today, I try to have it. I have the majority, but again, the past few years where the COVID tap came, so I miss all these period. But before that, I have a good collection.
That's amazing, stamp collector.
Yeah.
Ah,
I love it. It's really nice hobbies because it's open your mind. It's, you learn a lot of things also through it.
I used to love the illustrations on it. I think I was very fascinated by it.
That's one thing, yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, very fascinated. So, in the advertising world, before I was in advertising, my boss used to call me Madlena. So now it's crazy question time. What's the one thing people are generally surprised to find about you?
I think you can't say that. Because I cannot tell.
So the first time I met you was at DIFC. It was in 2020, November, right around COVID. And we had just finished a year on Artezaar. I remember this. It was our first big exhibition out there. And I think the one thing I was very surprised was the amount of time you spent talking to the children who had displayed their artworks. Because normally, I've seen people, oh, great work, good job, and they move on. But what I think that took me back by surprise in a very good way is I saw the genuine love and kindness that you spent such amazing time with the children, talking to them about their artworks, that till today they remember you.
That's really nice.
And I think that to me generally surprised me.
Really nice. You make me to discover myself in another way, to see what people they see it, because for what I did that time, I felt it's really normal, as important for a kid. As an artist, you like somebody to listen to you when you talk about your work, because you work on it and you love what you did and you think people start to appreciate it. So it's nice to see somebody's listening to you. So because we are an artist, we feel about the artists, how they feel, what they like. And it's very important if we talk about the kids, is to give them that attention.
I agree, because to me, I think, that's probably why I spend so much time with children. And I try to do exhibitions for children and all, because I feel that they're the future.
They are. And it's not only just supporting them, it's It's also other thing is yourself. You learn from them.
Oh yeah, I learn every day from them.
It's really amazing, yeah. And like the imagination, the creativity, the art is really the art. It's come from kids. For me, it's very important to work with them or to be among them, because you start to learn how to save that creativities, or open mind they have it, and how they can grow with it. Because what I notice, that when they're kids, so their imagination is big, their creativity is really big. They grow up, the majority they lose it.
Yeah, we put them in a box.
Yeah. And we need to realize what kind of box we're creating for them, and what that is making them to be limited.
Right.
We need to discover that thing, so we don't put them in that box, and we don't give them a limitation. They let them use the imagination.
It's so true. Because I teach 2, 3, and 4-year-olds, their imagination is unlimited.
See, that's very, very important.
And it's beautiful when they sit and they try to describe to me what they want to paint. It's unbelievable.
It's very important for us to realize. I mean, I do ask myself, do I really realize that? Do I really understand that? Because, without unconsciously, sometimes we try to direct them.
Right.
We tell them, oh, that's not right. This is the way it's right. That's wrong. This is a correct way. But we are teaching them, or we are limiting them of their creativities? So it's really tricky. I'm telling you,
I am guilty some days of doing it. Really guilty. I wouldn't lie to you. But then I think I've opened the space up for them in a good way. So they would look at me and I'd be like, okay, obviously you have a different way of thinking, right? What are you thinking? They're like, how about if we do it like this and like this and like this? I said, okay, show me. And they'll show me a very different way that I didn't think about. And I've realized that when I do hand building pottery, or I'm teaching them something, they'll find a different way of doing something that I have done it differently, that I wouldn't have thought of. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? Go with it.
See, it's very important to realize that. I mean, do we really realize that we are doing that or not? See, I don't know, but it's important for us to remind each other, yes, to give them a space, and to see the way they do it is maybe much easier. It has more creativities on it.
They do it easier.
Yeah.
As I'm sometimes teaching them the harder way, and they'll find the easiest way out. And I'm like, I didn't even think of this. Thank you.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
We need to tell ourselves, yes, they have a best way. They have a better way. Let's experience that.
Yeah. They'll find weird ways, and I love it.
And also we need to tell ourselves how we can pass the knowledge to them without blocking them or stopping them for their creativities.
Yeah, I agree on that. Just to close up, thank you. Any advice you would like to share with our listeners about their art, growing themselves?
Definitely. I start with the artists who love to paint and draw and participate in exhibition. One of the way to grow up, don't block yourself, or hide yourself. Go out. If you can participate in the exhibition, that's great, do it. If you didn't get a chance to do that, still go out, attend the events, the art exhibition, see what's going on, meet people, because that will help to open your mind. It's make you to discover what you're doing. Is that's right or wrong? Because if you block yourself in the corner of the house, you start to challenge yourself only. And you think, okay, you improve your drawing. And when you reach to a certain level, you think, wow, I did improve. And I'm the best. Yes, if you just compare to yourself. You did improve yourself. But how much you improve compared to movement that's happening now? Where you are with the art movement that's going on? What is needed in the field of art? How people they think. If you remember, going back when we were a kid, thinking somebody knows how to draw, said, wow, he's a great artist. You start to discover that the art is not only about drawing. It has a depth on it. That with what we're seeing now, the conceptual art and people, they do object and other stuff, it's still, I'm telling before I tell the audience, I tell the artist, as an artist, it's still in the field, there's a lot of things in the field of art, we might not understand it. Doesn't mean it's not art if you don't understand or if you don't like it. But when you attend that, you start to realize there's so many things exist, and why people they think like that, why people they do it, and why they succeed in that field. This all the secret you need to discover by being in the field itself would help you to not just to know it, to understand it and discover what's going on. So please go out and meet other people, meet other artists. It's help you to know how to communicate with them. In the end, will help you because in the field of art, people, they will go to the artists who they know. If nobody knows about you, nobody will come to you. If you're on the field, people knows about you, you know what's going on. So get opportunity of participating in the exhibition will increase, and people to approach you also will increase.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank you first for all your time, all your wisdom, all these lovely words. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you had as much fun as I did.
Thank you. I mean, time passed really quick.
Yes.
And really interesting conversation with you. Thank you for giving us this opportunity and sitting with you and discuss.
Thank you so much. And guys, please go out there, display your work, be proud of what you create, and meet new artists. Let's grow this community. Keep spreading the joy of art across the UAE and across the globe. This is Lina signing off from Artezaar.com. Thank you.
Thank you.